What's up, YouTube? Lady Rum in the house. But anyway, this is my reaction rant to Supergirl Season 2, Episode 7, titled The Darkest Place, which premiered yesterday. I know that, I still have Walking Dead. Hang on. Yeah. The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 5, titled Go-Getters, which premiered the day before yesterday. But, I wanted to get the smaller ones out because I know for a fact that if I record Walking Dead, it's definitely going to take more than one video because I know it's going to take more than 15 minutes for me to actually talk about that episode. So, with, the CW's DC shows, usually it only takes me one video, two at most, but sometimes I end up getting interrupted by my boyfriend or other people, and so it ends up being more, sometimes like maybe three at like rarely it becomes 4 videos when it comes to the DC CW shows. At most 3, and it's usually 1 or 2 videos, especially if I'm really into a video. But I know for a fact Walking Dead is going to take more than 1 video. Heck, it's probably going to take even more than 2. So I want to get the smaller ones out first. But anyway, yeah, Supergirl Season 2, Episode 7, titled The Darkest Place, which I absolutely love! I'm gonna get, my bullet points are kind of out there, because my brain is all jumbled right now. It's only like 11:20 p.m. right now, and my mind is jumbled. It's horrible. But anyway, we see James as, Guardian, apprehending some criminals, and he ends up tying one criminal. He's all dangling in the air by his feet, which it kind of reminds me of Batman, I'm not gonna lie to you, because Batman tends to do that. Heck, even Green Arrow in the CW has done that several times. But apparently, as James is leaving, apparently that very same criminal that he not really apprehended, but like secures, ends up getting shot by someone who has a gun that kind of looks like Deadshot's gun. If you guys remember Deadshot, either in animated media, live action media, even in video games, Deadshot had this gun looking apparatus on his arm that like a mini machine gun on his arm. This very same person did the same thing to this criminal that James ends up securing. And it's all over the news, especially at Capco, and James finds out at Capco that the very criminal that he secured ends up getting killed, and everyone thinks him, Guardian, is the one doing it, because they caught him on video, apprehending the criminal, but they think that Guardian comes back and kills him, right? And that can of worms just for James. I feel so sorry for him when that happens, right? And we also remember in the last episode, a lot of things were happening, like, for example, we got Alex coming out to Kara about her feelings for Maggie, and Kara encouraging, go ask Maggie out. Alex kisses Maggie, and Maggie prefers just being friends with Alex, which pretty much breaks poor Alex's heart. We also get Mon-El, after everything that's happened in the previous episode, him trying to be a nice guy by trying to help what seemed to be a homeless person, only for that person to be someone working for Cadmus, and he ends up getting kidnapped by Cadmus. But anyway, we actually see what happens with Mon-El, because Mon-El's trapped in this cell. Oh my goodness. Mon-El, no matter who captures him, manages to be the funniest prisoner of all time. Because remember, when we first met Mon-El, DEO had him in custody, and he was, prisoner, right? Hilarious prisoner of all time. And, of course, he still is, no matter where he is. Apparently, either it's the DEO or Cadmus, he's still the most hilarious prisoner, because he's here mocking this one guard watching him, like, he's like, oh, I see a courtship ring on you. What's that term? Put a ring on it and all that stuff? You're doing well. He even makes fun of the fact that the guard must have married someone unattractive because the guy's unattractive, and I was like, Mon-El, you stupid prisoner. Oh my gosh. I mean, he could pull that off at the DEO, but he's in Cadmus. I don't think he could pull that crud off, but apparently it was successful, whatever he's doing, because all those insults to that guard pissed off the guard so much that he got a gun and stuck it through the cell to shoot Mon-El, and Mon-El just grabs, knocks him out, takes the key card, opens his cage, and runs out. But just as he's about to run out to the exit, the Luthor mommy, along with several little Cadmus people, show up, and apparently it looked like they captured Jean, because they see Jean there, and oh my god, like, Mon-El's like, oh my god, Jean, and Lillian's all like, if you leave, we kill him, right? And so, unfortunately, Mon-El had no choice but to surrender, because he believed I believe that Jean was captured, so, like, also, things that have been happening, speaking of Jean, stuff is happening to Jean because he's getting, his hands are getting all shaky and he's hallucinating and stuff. He hallucinated his family, and so he's getting kind of scared, so he orders some blood tests to see what's wrong with him and all that stuff back at the DEO. And, just as Supergirl, who heard police radios, was about to go and see who Guardian is, ends up getting a message from Lillian for Kara to arrive at Cadmus, because she's like, oh, by the way, we took Mon-El, your Daxamite friend. If you don't show up, we'll kill him, right? So she arrives only to be confronted by who she believes, who a lot of people believed, was Jean. Turns out, it's the real Hank Henshaw, because remember, Jean Jones took on the form of the real Hank Henshaw. If I remember correctly, Jean, I don't know who saved who, but it was either Jeremiah saved Jean or Jean saved Jeremiah, but overall, we all believe that the real Hank Henshaw died, right? But apparently he survived, and Cadmus took him in and saved him apparently, and he ended up working for Cadmus. And Kara ends up battling the real Hank Henshaw, and she finds out that not only he's alive, he's enhanced, because she ripped off a part of his face. You see the cybernetics there, and we all knew the moment we heard the name Hank Henshaw that at one point we might see Cyborg Superman. I was kind of hesitant, considering now that in the first season I thought the real Hank Henshaw was dead, right? And then Jean was just taking up the guise of Hank Henshaw. I honestly thought that the guy playing Jeremiah, I thought he might take up the role of Cyborg Superman, only because I thought the real Hank Henshaw was dead from the first season. And it would have been a really cool nod, considering the actor who plays Jeremiah actually played Superman. So it'd make actual sense, but apparently not, because boom, the real Hank Henshaw is alive, and now he's Cyborg Superman. He actually called himself Cyborg Superman too, which I thought was pretty interesting. But anyway, in the comics, just to refresh your memory, Cyborg Superman is a persona that has been used by two fictional characters in the DC universe. Both of them supervillains, and the first one is a well-known one, Hank Henshaw, who was an astronaut at NASA until a solar flare hit his space shuttle during an experiment in space, damaging the ship and crew. And Henshaw and the crew found out that their bodies had begun to mutate, and after returning to Earth, Henshaw's entire crew, including his poor wife, eventually committed suicide. And I don't want to get too much into it, but that's basically a small little detail about the Hank Henshaw Cyborg Superman in the comics. Alter ego Henry Hank Henshaw. Abilities in the comics were technopathy or technonopathy, I don't know, Kryptonian power similar to Superman, and Quadrian power rings. But another person who took up the name is Zor-El, which I thought was interesting because Kara's whole name is Kara Zor-El. I'm just saying. And that's the new Cyborg Superman following the New 52 relaunch. So I'm not going to get too much into that either, but it's a Kryptonian. a legitimate Kryptonian and has super strength, flight, invulnerability, metamorphosis, super speed, and energy protection. And Cyborg Superman has appeared several times. In television, the Legion of Superheroes in the episode Message in a Bottle. Of course, Supergirl TV series. DC's direct-to-DVD, Superman Doomsday. I believe he was in there. He has appeared in video games. I want to say the Superman game for the SNES and Genesis, The Death and Return of Superman. Boss character in Superman Man of Steel. Cyborg Superman appears as a alternate skin for Superman in Injustice. And also appears in DC Online and Lego Batman 3, Beyond Gotham. So, yeah. Brief history there, guys. And oh my god, I'm running out of time already. Oh, I gotta keep going. But, back to this mysterious vigilante that's been killing off all of James's people. Wynn finds out that this vigilante is pretty much targeting murderers who pretty much got away with their murders. Like, they got exonerated. Basically, they got away with the murder. They were set free and all that stuff. And God, my computer. What the heck? Okay, what are you doing, computer? Okay. Anyway, Wynn finds the next target so James could, intersect this vigilante, right? And during that whole fight, they also find out that this is some sort of, I think, like an ex-military guy. That's why he's so good with, he's an amazing vigilante and everything. And apparently he's only doing this because I think his wife was killed by someone, and that person got, exonerated too, and he's like, that's not fair and all that stuff, and so he decided to take his revenge on other people who got exonerated. And it was a pretty badass battle between Guardian and this vigilante guy, because it was quite impressive, especially I did not know James knew how to fight. I am just saying, did someone teach him martial arts? Did someone teach him how to fight like that? Because we got some not really arrow type fighting, but we got some serious fighting skills, like someone who's been training his whole, years, a special training. And yet I've never seen or heard James say he had special training, so I'm kind of questioning how he's able to fight this well. But he ends up stopping the serial killer, and overall, during that whole thing, Alex finds out that Guardian is in fact James through Wynn, and because of that, Alex manages to convince Maggie not to arrest Guardian, and actually managed to convince her to let Guardian go after, he stops that serial killer, which I thought was pretty cool. And I am running out of time, which I cannot believe I'm having a second video. Oh my god. But anyway, I told you my head's all jumbled, so if pieces are going scattering everywhere, I am sorry. But anyway, when around this time, Kara also arrives at Cadmus to try to retrieve Mon-El, where she meets Lillian, and she immediately recognizes her as the lady that was in Lena Luthor's office as she left. And Lillian's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Lena Luthor's mom. And it's like, ha, what an anticlimactic way of Kara learning your identity. Really? But anyway, basically Lillian wants Kara to pretty much forces Kara to deplete her powers so she could actually take blood samples from Kara, which I'm kind of curious, and a part of me kind of predicted that maybe she might want to make a clone of Kara. I don't know. It's Cadmus. You'll never know. But anyway, I am running out of time. I'll see you in a part 2 video, hopefully to finish this episode. Peace.